Welcome to the Modesto Heights Reverse tutorial for Wipeout HD Fury. If you thought Modesto Heights forward was difficult, the reverse variant is going to be a real shock to you. As before, you have all the usual 90-degree corners, however in the reverse variant it's incredibly difficult to get a decent approach. This track is definitely one for the experts, and it takes real skill to get a decent time on it. So let's start off by having a look at this very difficult track on Venom class. And now we'll go through the whole track step by step. The course starts out in a similar fashion to the Amphitheum reverse, a 90-degree left-hander right after the line. It needs to be taken in a very similar way, however do consider that there's a double speed pad waiting right after the apex on the left-hand side. Approach the corner from the right-hand side, then as soon as you pass the line, hit the left air brake and swing towards the apex. This should take you over the double speed pad. Depending on how hard you hit the left air brake, you may need to give a quick tap to the right air brake to stop you slamming into the left wall if you turn too hard. On the other side of this maglock section is a very quick right-hander. When you reach the other side, give a quick tap to the right air brake and aim for the centre of the track. This will take you over a double speed pad. Make sure that you're slightly over to the left-hand side for the best approach. The next section isn't particularly difficult in itself, it's the section it leads into that causes the problems. What we have here is a double banked left-hander, but this leads straight into a difficult chicane series. As you enter the first corner, hit the left air brake to bring yourself in line, and then all you need to do is feather the left air brake as you go around the outside of the corner. This will take you over a double speed pad and will give you the best possible approach to the chicane at the end. You need to be emerging from the second left-hander on the right-hand side. Once you hit this speed pad ahead of you, immediately pull over to the left-hand side to hit a double speed pad. Once you hit it, you need to be very quick with the right air brake to pull the craft into the central line down the middle of the chicane. If you have a turbo coming up to the maglock section and you're feeling very daring, it is actually possible to barrel roll into the long left-hander. However, it is a risky manoeuvre, as there's several places in which the craft can get caught on the scenery, and you will also need to be very quick on the air brakes to regain control of the craft going through the corner. So start off by tackling the corner in the same way as before. As the corner banks, the track dips down over to the left-hand side. Aim your craft over towards this dip and you should gain enough height to barrel roll. You may need to lift the nose ever so slightly to gain enough height to do so. However, you need to be very careful about the direction of your craft when you hit the turbo. If you end up hitting one of the overhangs on either side of the track, your craft will be launched straight up into the air. Also further along, there's a footbridge spanning across the top of the track. If you raise the nose too high, again you'll slam into it and the craft will actually get stuck within it for a few seconds. So as you can imagine, this is an incredibly risky barrel roll. Also, just before you land, you need to be ready with the left air brake to guide the craft into the corner. The next corner series is by far the most difficult on the track, and whether you navigate it successfully depends entirely on one corner within it. First of all though, you should see 3 speed pads ahead of you spanning the track. As you exit the chicane, tap the right air brake and aim to hit the first 2 of them. Make sure you exit in the centre. Up ahead is a shallow left followed by a shallow right. After hitting the double speed pad and making sure you're in the centre of the track, tap the left air brake to swing the craft into the corner. Ideally, you should land right in the centre of the track. This right bend you see ahead of you is the corner on which this entire corner series hangs. You'll need to hit the right air brake quite hard to pull yourself through due to your high speed approach. However, you need to make absolutely sure that you do not apply it too heavily. The reason being that immediately following this corner is a double 90-degree right-hander. If you want to have a hope of taking it successfully, you need to have the perfect approach. Your use of the right air brake needs to take you over the double speed pad you see on the apex, but you must drift over to the left. If you come out the corner stuck on the right hand side, your approach is going to be nowhere near good enough and you'll simply slam straight into the back wall. So when you find the craft in this situation here, apply the right air brake, but make sure that you are aiming over to the left on exit. As you hit the double speed pad, give a very light tap to the left air brake to tee you up and take you over to the left hand side. If you'd have exited the corner too far over to the right, you would have needed to apply the left air brake quite heavily and it would have ruined your approach. And then finally, just before you reach the apex of this very shallow left bend, slam on the right air brake and pull over towards the apex of the first right-hander. As you go through, keep the right air brake held down at all times. As you approach the apex of the second right-hander, side shift over to the right to hit a speed pad. The final corner in the series is a banked left-hander that takes you onto an uphill straight. Ride up the right-hand side of the corner and then use the left air brake with a small amount of left side shift to pull yourself through. There's a triple speed pad on the right-hand side of the corner on the exit. Let's just take one final look at that corner series. Timing is absolutely everything to take it successfully, and pay very close attention to the timing of the air brake application in each corner. But do remember that one corner on which the entire series relies on being taken successfully. If you apply the right air brake too heavily, you won't be able to correct your line quickly enough before you encounter the first right-hander. You're either going to slam into the back wall, or you're going to have to lift right off the thruster, losing you valuable time. The final part of the track consists of a small jump followed by a double 90-degree left-hander. The double left is far easier than the double right that was in the tunnel, purely because you've got a much easier approach to them. As you go over the small bump, barrel roll and then slam on the left air brake and keep it held down as you go through both corners. If you find yourself drifting over to the right as you go through the final corner, left side shift to hit a double speed pad to take you down towards the line. As you come out of the final corner, move over to the right to set yourself back up for the first corner again. And now finally, let's see the whole lap done at full Phantom class speed. Thank you for watching, good luck with the game.